Hey everybody, this is your Psychic Christine, and this is episode 79. Oh geez, I am making some headway. I just Google searched myself, Psychic Christine podcast, and I didn't know this until now, but I have gotten some 5-star reviews on this, and wow, nice. Thank you guys for giving me those stars. I really appreciate it. It's a big deal to me. And as you all know, I try to share whatever I can on this podcast, whatever I can do without physically or verbally being together or getting together and doing a reading for you. But, this is not meant to be a substitute for a reading. But if you did want to have a psychic reading done, please go ahead to psychicreadingstoday.com. Go ahead and subscribe to my newsletter where you will be able to get a free sample little tarot card reading and also, of course, get notifications on any upcoming events or special podcasts that I have. And I'm trying right now, working on getting onto Patreon and creating some instructional podcasts for people as well with some different stuff. I wanna do whatever I can, and we're gonna, through this podcast, broaden our spiritual horizons in any way, shape, or form. So, I did some episodes further back about love, relationships, soulmates, and it's been a while since I've gotten into that. I do feel that it's really important, and I'm sure a lot of you are all aware, that it's a good thing to be in a good place before getting into a serious relationship. You've got to be, your life has got to be together, because relationships can be tough. I know you guys all know that. And if you're not in a good place in your life, it actually makes things very confusing. And sometimes you're not able to see things clearly because of your state of mind. But, when we're in it, we're not always aware. And, so a psychic reading, of course, can help you with that. When you have a psychic reading done, it's supposed to help you get a bird's eye view of what's happening in your life and help you to be able to make or gain understanding and then be able to make choices and decisions easier after that, because you have a little more clarity. And of course, you have to be able to relate to whatever this person is telling you, meaning you're psychic, and realize, of course, if it's applicable to your situation or not. So, so that's a little bit of how you're vetting your psychic, essentially. So, without further ado, this topic or this episode, and I'm going to do a series of this, is when your soulmate isn't ready. I mean, in our wild imaginations, when you do make contact with your soulmate, it's supposed to be the perfect time, the perfect place, everything is just supposed to go smooth and whatever. And wouldn't it be great if that were true? But I have said in previous episodes in relation to soulmates, sometimes your soulmate can be the most difficult and complicated relationship, and there could be a number of reasons for that. One is something from a past life. Sometimes past life stuff carries on over into our present life and creates difficulty and stress in relationships. Sometimes other people can get in the way of stuff. And, the battle of positive, negative, good, evil is always going on. It's like a never-ending sort of war that happens. And as a result of that, sometimes you can be really ready and prepared to be with your soulmate, but sometimes your soulmate is not on the same plane as you. Not there with you just at that time. And as a result of that, it can be really frustrating because you need to be really patient and understanding. And what's really important is if you find yourself in a situation like that, it's really important to allow your soulmate to have some space, okay? Your soulmate needs some space to connect to their feelings. So what I'm saying essentially is so let's say you're ready, you want to be with your soulmate, but your soulmate isn't where you're at now and doesn't see the same picture as you do right now. So as an example, we're going to call our soulmate, hey, you're crazy, you should be here with me right now, we're a match made in heaven, and blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying you guys really do that, but it may sound like that. And hurry up, and can't we just hit the fast forward button on this one? Okay, so that's not going to work, okay? Because now you've put your soulmate in a position where they're constantly having to think about this kind of stuff, okay? And trying to basically please you or whatever the right word is for that, and not really have an opportunity to discover their feelings for you, okay? Sometimes we need space to realize what we want, what we need, and whatever. So like I said earlier on in this podcast, in the beginning, I said it's important that you are in a good place before you get into a serious relationship. So what do I mean by that? What that means is you have to feel ready. You have to know what your expectations are. Your head has to be clear. Your ducks hopefully are somewhat or in a good place. Your ducks are in a row and you're ready to invest yourself into a serious relationship. But when you're feeling pressured to be in a relationship and rush into something and feel, like you're being given ultimatums and stuff like that, then we start to, all these defensive feelings start popping up. All these, I feel pressure, I want to run, start popping up. People can feel like they're being kind of boxed into a corner under those set of circumstances. And so what you basically have to do is start learning how to trust the process, okay? And just trust that everything will work out and fall into place. And like I said, that's going to require a certain amount of faith, I guess, and believing that this person is in fact your soulmate. Because when you are with your soulmate, you know it, okay? You know that this is the person that you're supposed to be with. You don't second guess yourself a whole lot. So what does this have to do with having a psychic reading done, and how is that going to help in all of this? So you go and you have a psychic reading done, and usually your psychic should be able to tell you what it is that's happening in your personal life right now. And you're going to communicate in your reading what's happening right now, and you're going to get some understanding as to how you're being perceived by your soulmate. And you're going to start to get some advice and guidance on how to proceed with this and get some kind of time frame as to when all of this is coming into fruition, or even find out what the obstacles are that are preventing or holding this relationship up, whatever the case may be. I'm just trying through this episode to think of how many, and there are a million possible scenarios, but I think you guys get the gist of what I'm trying to say here. So that's why it's good to go ahead and have a psychic reading done. It definitely can't hurt. And if that's something you want to do, go ahead to psychicreadingstoday.com. And like I said, yes, does that happen? Is it possible that you are ready and your soulmate is not ready just yet? Absolutely. Absolutely. I actually have a story to tell you about me and my soulmate. So yeah, that does happen. So in any case, yeah, there are a number of things that could go on. And for a number of different reasons. So, and you can find out what those are, okay? So I hope this podcast has helped to enlighten you a little bit. And I hope I gave you some, if you're experiencing something like that with your soulmate now, like I said, just remember to give your soulmate some space. Let them have an opportunity to realize their feelings and get it together. Okay, so be sure to go to my website, subscribe to my newsletter, subscribe to this podcast, subscribe to everything I'm doing. Thank you for your wonderful reviews. Love you guys. Try to stay cool in this crazy heat, and I will see you on my next episode, number 80. So these series of episodes moving forward will be on the topic of soulmate. And if you know someone that needs to hear this, please share it. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.